this is how I managed to display different controller inputs in Godot. Firstly, I created some assets to represent each different input, just some PNGs, and loaded them in code here. Then I created 3 different dictionaries to associate the functions in the game with those images. Then I created another variable, another dictionary, which takes one of these 3 dictionaries and represents our current inputs to display. It starts with the keyboard inputs, and I have this other variable to tell if our current device is a keyboard or not, or if it's a controller. It also starts with true. Then, how do I tell if another controller is connected? Godot has this function called onJoyConnectionChanged, which takes a device ID and a connected boolean. If the connected is true, then this device ID will help us tell which device is connected via this function called input.getJoyName. Giving it the device ID, it returns the device name. I print it here, and if a device is connected, then we're not using a keyboard. So I set this variable to false. Then I check if the device name starts with PlayStation, or PS actually. So that would be the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 controller. If that's the case, I assign the PlayStation dictionary to the input dictionary. If not, I assign the Xbox dictionary. So that would mean that every controller that's not a PlayStation controller will display the Xbox input. That's fine, we're on PC. It just means that third-party controllers will have the Xbox images displaying. If a controller is not connected, then we will land here, and our keyboard is going to be our device. So I assign it to the input there, and I set this boolean to true to help more easily tell if a keyboard is connected or not. I also declared a signal here called changed and emit it every time this function is called. So every time a new device is connected or disconnected, I emit this signal. This helps me in other parts of the code more easily tell when a new controller is connected. So I might update an image that's already being displayed. Here I also have a function that called getImagePath, which takes an image name. So that would be jump, attack, parry, and returns the image path. So that's why we have all these dictionaries. So the final step is just connecting the JoyConnected_change signal with the JoyConnected function we created. So just here on the ready function, we type input.connect, the name of the signal and the name of the function. So with this input manager set up, I can set it to auto load, so it's going to always run, and I can access it in other parts of code. Here, for example, in my tutorial text script, I set up a scene which just has a canvas layer, a control node, and a rich text label node. This text is going to be filled with a tutorial. So here in my tutorial text script, I start on the ready function, connecting that changed signal with an update function, which sets the text of my rich text label. So every time a new device is connected, I update that text to display the new image if necessary. So whenever a new controller is connected, with this update function, I can update the text of the rich text label. I'm not going to get very much deep into it, because I also use a JSON system to get my tutorial text, but the idea is very simple. The text is going to be updated, and the image that's displayed is going to get its path from the input manager.getImagePath, which is being updated. So passing the same name, which that would be jump or attack or move, based on these dictionaries here, I can get different images based on which controller is currently connected. Then I also update the text. So if I hit play on the scene, it's going to display a simple prompt, X to attack, because I don't have a controller connected. If I plug in my PS4 controller, it's going to display the PS4 button and also print that a PS4 controller was connected. If I unplug it, it goes back to a keyboard and also prints keyboard. This was kind of a more advanced tutorial, so if you want to know more about auto load or rich text label and how to display the images on the text, please let me know. Or if you just like the game that you're seeing, please check out Alkaki on Instagram or Twitter at Concha Indigo.